Welcome to the JavaScript 101 course. So, this course we'll be looking at the basics of JavaScript. We're looking at the basics of JavaScript. What is JavaScript? How is JavaScript being used, and the basic syntax, and then we move to how we're going to connect it to our HTML and do some creative stuff with it. Okay, so I'll start I'll start by introducing what JavaScript is. JavaScript is a scripting language that's meant to that's used to manipulate um, the browser DOM. That is used to manipulate either the HTML or the CSS. So it's in other words called a DOM manipulator. When I say DOM, I mean the DOM DOM manipulator. I'm going to write that on the second. Okay, so JavaScript can said to be a DOM manipulator because it's used to it can be used to modify HTML or the CSS. For instance, you can have the color of your text to be black, but with JavaScript you can manipulate it to change it into red. And also you can have 101 here just as we have 101 here, but with JavaScript you can manipulate that and change it into 102. With JavaScript you can change it into 102 and then into 102, and you can even delete this whole block from the DOM. You can delete everything from the DOM. You can make it visible or not. And also, do you have a question?
This JavaScript
Okay.
is very easy to migrate
So yeah.
no can actually work without using it.
Yeah, you can do some
Is it
certain things
possible
without using.
to do some certain things using just this without this HTML CSS? There are some people that I have a friend
That's only
that works
based
like
on
JavaScript.
JavaScript. Yes, there are some things you can do with just JavaScript, but then JavaScript still have to interact with a front end. Though there are some things you can still do, like JavaScript can be run in an environment, in a terminal environment. You can run a JavaScript application in a terminal environment. Unlike this JavaScript now, I can write an alert function that alerts hello, and then this file can be run in a terminal instead of being run in a browser. It can be run in a terminal. So the answer to your question is yes, you can use JavaScript alone. You can use JavaScript to solve some advanced things like a Fibonacci sequence. You know what Fibonacci sequence is, right? You can use
Fibonacci.
JavaScript, yes, Fibonacci. You can
What's
use
that?
JavaScript to solve it. A mathematics this thing. So you can use JavaScript to write a code that gets the Fibonacci sequence of of a particular number or something like that. So JavaScript can be used for something like that, and it will be run in a terminal. Yes, but this is a web development course, so the JavaScript we'll be learning here is strictly for web
Basics.
development. JavaScript is very wide, yeah, that's very wide, just like Python is very wide. But if you're learning Python for web development, you'll be streamlined to learn Python for web development. So you might not be bothered about some certain libraries that are meant for data analysis, right? You are only focusing on the libraries that you'll be using for to manage your website, to build a web application and not the library that will be used for data analysis, right? Or for machine learning. So that's what I meant by that. Okay, another question. Yes, exactly, exactly, exactly. Okay, so now that we've introduced what JavaScript is, now how do we use JavaScript? How do we use JavaScript with our HTML? Firstly, you have to link your JavaScript to your HTML with the script element. Script, and then you link in your JavaScript. So you have to provide the source where the JavaScript file is located. So in our case is in the same directory with this HTML file. So we just write the main.js like that. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, okay, okay. It's same file with the HTML. Okay, I guess your question is if I should put my main.js, my JavaScript file inside a folder, inside an okay, okay. That's called inline scripting. Just like we have, I mean internal scripting. Just like we have internal, just as we can write internal CSS in our HTML, we can also write internal script. You mean like doing something like this script, and then you write the script inside the HTML like this, right? So yes, it's also available, but the same reason we have for for the CSS is the same. I mean, the reason why we shouldn't do that for CSS is also the same for JavaScript. Imagine when you're writing a script of like 500 lines of code and everything is on the same page with your HTML. You know, it's going to look messy, right? Like to manage it, it's going to you know, it's going to cause a lot of this thing. It's not your code won't be smooth, you know, it won't be readable and all that. So that's why it's advisable that you have a separate file for your JavaScript, and then you link that file to your Java to your HTML rather. Yeah.
The backend is different from CSS. We use this one for CSS.
Oh, okay.
Since like when
Okay.
CSS
I'm going to explain what that means. Don't worry, I'm going to explain what that means. Now, I've linked the. This is how to link the your JavaScript file to your HTML. Okay, so now let's test it if it's working. So what I've done here is that I've written a function, something called function in JavaScript. I've written this function that is going to alert something. So it's a function that has been set already in JavaScript. It came with JavaScript, like you don't have to write this function. So it's a function that will take in an argument or a parameter and then alert, or it's going to alert that thing that you pass to it on the browser. So this is an example of an alert. So as you can see, it's alerting hello because I passed in the string hello. So it's alerting hello. So this is called alert. So if you should refresh your page, you're going to see the alert before you continue. So you might imagine where you use this, right? Like when you try to submit a form, or you try to submit a form and then you just see this alert that says submission successful or something like that. So we use alert for something like that. Okay, so that's just like a confirmation that our JavaScript file has been linked together. Okay, does anyone have a question? Exactly. Which has been linked to the HTML file. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Yes, if you know you won't write more than that, then you can just write it in your HTML file. Yes, you can do that also. Okay. Okay. React is a framework that was built with JavaScript. It's a JavaScript framework. You understand? Just like what we did um, in the previous course when we did CSS framework when we introduced Tailwind CSS. I said Tailwind CSS is a CSS framework, right? So just like we have Tailwind CSS as a CSS framework, we also have a lot of JavaScript framework. So React is just one of the JavaScript framework. We have Vue, we have Nux, we have REST. We have Next and some other frameworks like that. Okay, so is that all? Okay. Um, what we'll be doing mostly with HTML, I mean with our JavaScript, is to manipulate our HTML in web development. Is to manipulate our HTML, but that's not just what we'll be doing actually. We'll be running some conditional statements. We'll be writing functions, but it's all going to boils down to manipulating our HTML and CSS.
So let's say we have this JavaScript now. Is it possible we have CSS and link it?
To the JavaScript.
Like if you want to work now,
Yeah.
maybe you want to do something from academic JavaScript. It's HTML and JavaScript and it creates. Not that it
And you
creates
can you can
CSS.
you can you can still add CSS if you want, like if you're building a standard project, you also have your CSS.
Yeah,
You
it
have your
builds it there
CSS
too.
file that will be linked. Yes, you can link it also. So you can link in your CSS file also. So to check if it's working, I'm going to target the body. I'm going to set the background color to red. So can you see it now? Okay. So but in this course we're not focusing on CSS. We are focusing on JavaScript. Okay. So now we've linked our JavaScript file to our HTML, and we are able to print. Okay, let me alert hello world. So as you can see, I reloaded the page and it alerts hello world.